everyone. If this is your first time with me, my name is Alexandra Rose. Welcome to So It Flows. If you've been with me before, it's been a while. I haven't recorded a yoga flow since last year, but a lot has happened. We moved into a new space. I got married and went on a beautiful honeymoon. And now it's 2022 already, and I'm just ready to come back on here and share this practice, as I feel it is my purpose here to share these principles and the practice of yoga with you all. So I'm really excited. This is going to be a very short beginner flow. We are going to build a little bit of heat, and then we're going to relax. So if you don't have a mat already, get your mat, maybe play some music that you connect with. There won't be any music with this flow, but I will link a playlist below that I like. So if you'd like to join in on that, feel free. And before we get started, I actually wanted to share something with you. I've been seeing, especially all over the internet, everything about manifestation. It's kind of become something that we've capitalized on here, just like the practice of yoga in the Western world. And we tend to complicate things when we do that. And I just wanted to talk about the simplicity of manifestation and living the life of your dreams. And I wanted to explain it through Paramhansa Yogananda. And who he is, if you're not familiar, is he is a guru who brought yoga to the Western world. It was his dharma to become a yogi and to bring it to America and share with us this beautiful practice so we can continue to share it with the world and light everyone up, because we need some light after these pretty interesting times that we've been through. So I wanted to read to you just a little bit in this book. So it's his autobiography. It's in his writing, his voice, about his life as a yogi. So he had a guru, and his guru's name was Lahiri Mahasaya. And so this story is actually about his guru when he was a kid, and explaining just the power of our thoughts, our subconscious thoughts, when it comes to manifestation. So when Lahiri Mahasaya was a child, he went to his guru and he said, "Sir, I have been very sick and I have lost many pounds." And his guru says to him, "I see you have made yourself unwell and now you think you are thin." So his reply was far from what he had expected, but then he said something very encouraging to Lahiri, and he said, "Let me see. I am sure you ought to feel better tomorrow." So with that, he got really excited, and those words hinted to him that he was going to secretly heal him. So he put in his belief that he was going to be healed, and he went home that night. And when he woke up the next morning, he felt more energy than he had ever felt in the last few weeks since he had been ill. So he goes back to his master's home and he says, "Sir, I feel much better today." And his guru's response was, "Indeed, today you invigorate yourself." And he responds, "No, master, it is you that has helped me. You have healed me. This is the first time in weeks that I've had any energy." So his master says, "Oh yes, your sickness has been quite serious. Your body is frail yet. Who can say how you will be tomorrow?" So the thought of the possible return of Lahiri's weakness brought him fear. And the following morning, he could hardly drag himself back to his master's home. So he drags himself to his master's home and he says, "Sir, I am ailing again." And his guru glanced at him and said, "So once more you indispose yourself." And Lahiri's patience is getting a little exhausted here. And he says, "You've been ridiculing me for days now. I don't understand why you don't, believe these truthful reports. And his guru says, really, it has been your thoughts that have made you feel alternately weak and strong. You have seen how your health has exactly followed your subconscious expectations. Thought is a force, even as electricity and gravitation. The human mind is a spark of the almighty consciousness of God. I could show you that whatever your powerful mind believes very intensely would instantly come to pass. So that's just a small little snippet, and I would love to share more with you, but maybe at the end I'll read a little more. But this is a wonderful book if you are interested in kind of how the story of Paramhansa came about, of him moving yoga to the West. And yeah, with that, we'll get started. I would love for you to, during our practice, just kind of connect with your thoughts and what comes up subconsciously. A lot of times when we move our body, things come up and we dismiss them a lot of times, but the beauty of yoga is really getting internal and understanding the thoughts that we have, the feelings that we have, and really exploring them, because with that awareness, we can change so much. So with that, we'll come to seated if you're not already there. Find the sits bones, maybe roll left and right, pressing into your sits bones, pulling your lower belly in. A lot of times we spill into that lower back. See if you can draw the belly in. And then we'll roll the shoulders up to the ears and exhale down the back. Let the heart melt, your shoulders melt. Taking a few breaths here on your own. Just exploring how we feel. Noticing the breath as it enters through our nostrils and it expands in our body. And noticing our breath as we exhale and how it dissolves. Noticing our inhales and the expansion, creating space in the body for more to come in. And long exhales, dissolving what no longer serves us. Take a few more deep breaths here, maybe inhaling for 4. Holding at the top for a moment, and exhaling for 6. Until a new breath comes in and expands you. You hold on to that expansion until it's time to dissolve and you let it go. Take one more breath just like that. And exhale, let it go. From here, we'll root down in the sits bones and we'll reach the hands up overhead. Maybe you start to peel the chin up towards the sky. And relax the shoulders here. Pull the lower belly in. Get a little fire here in the belly. Maybe bring into mind what a dream life looks like for you. And exhale, press the hands together and bring it down into the heart. Let the thumbs rest at the sternum. Picturing all of your desires, the life that you want to live. And then getting to the root of what that sensation, what that feeling, what those emotions are that you experience. This is our intention. This is the energy that we'll cultivate in our practice today. Take one more deep breath, just like that. And we'll exhale, bring the hands, this time palms facing up on the knees, lift the chest up. Inhale, or reach them back up towards the sky. And exhale through heart center. 2 more times just like that, just getting the feeling of movement to breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Last time, root down, reach all the way up. And exhale, hands to hearts. This time on our inhale, we're going to press that energy away, flexing at the wrist here. See if you can feel the nerves from the wrist all the way up to the traps as you bring the fingertips towards the shoulders. Relax here. Right hand will come down. Left hand reaches overhead, stretching the left side of the body, creating space for our heart to move. And inhale, reach the right hand up. Left hand reaches down and over. Take one more time just like that. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach over. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, reach over. Nice and simple. Inhale, last time, reach up. And bring the hands through heart center and down to our backs, or our hands. We're going to come into a tabletop position. I'm just going to shift on my mat here so you can see hips are over the knees. Shoulders are right over those wrists. Maybe you let the toes come down to the mat, spread the toes, press everything in, and take a few moments of movement here. Just organic movement. If you'd like, you can come down to a child's pose position. If you're looking for a little movement, maybe you just take some barrel rolls, roll the shoulders, really listening to our bodies. This is the first step in really trusting our body, and our intuition is moving exactly how your body calls to move, whether that's stillness or it's movement. And when you're ready, we'll meet in a neutral spine, tabletop position, your most sturdy, your strongest spine, your strongest table. Press the mat away, press the toes into the mat. Almost might feel like you can levitate off your mat here. On your inhale, drop the belly, lift your heart. On your exhale, pull the rib cage in, drop your head for cat pose. Roll those shoulder blades open. 2 more times. Inhale, drop the belly, soften those elbows, reach the heart forward. Exhale, pull the belly in, drop your head. 1 more time, just like that. Inhale, drop the belly, lift your heart. Exhale, cat pose, round through the spine. This time, untuck the toes here, open up the arches of the feet. We're going to lift the knees about a couple inches off the mat. So building some heat here in the belly. And then on your exhale, bring the hips back, downward facing dog. We have about 5 breaths here. You can start to walk out the dog. If you'd like, you can come to the knees and take a child's pose if you need a few breaths, just to come back to your body, coming back to that essence of your intention. And when you're ready, we'll all meet in stillness in downward facing dog. Give yourself 2 more breaths here. Softening the knees. And from here, we're going to bring the left foot and bring it to the middle of the mat. Right foot is going to reach up towards the sky on the inhale. Exhale, maybe you open up the hip, roll out the ankle, roll out the head. And on your exhale, the knee is going to come in towards the rib cage. Puff up those shoulder blades just like in cat position, and send the foot right underneath the ribs. Left heel is going to dial down into a 45-degree angle, squaring the hips back off. Maybe you roll out the wrist here, get some blood flowing in the wrists. And inhale when you're ready, root down, reach up, warrior 1. Relax the shoulders here. Maybe you look up towards the sky. Maybe grabbing a hold of that dream life, grabbing a hold of something that you're grateful for. What's behind that essence? That's what we're cultivating today. And on your exhale, we're going to sweep the arms back, releasing anything that doesn't feel good. Let it go. Inhale, root down in the feet, reaching up, opening our hearts. Exhale, let it go, sweep back. 1 more time, just like that. Inhale, root down, reach up. Exhale, sweep back. This time we're going to take the left hand and windmill up and over. You can take a wider stance into a warrior 2. So you can heel toe that left foot back. And open up the arms here. So the difference between warrior 1 and warrior 2 is in a warrior 2, our hips are open towards the long side of the mat. Our shoulders stay over those hips. And we'll reach the hands away from each other and then relax the shoulders. Look over that middle finger. Let the rest of the world just dissolve away. Stay focused on your drishti, that point of focus. And on your exhale, right forearm comes down to the quad, left hand reaches up towards the sky. On your exhale, maybe we reach the fingertips towards the front of the mat. Keeping the heart lifted up towards the sky, relax the left shoulder down the back. Keep that lower belly engaged here. Beautiful. On the exhale, left hand comes down. We're going to take a twist here. You have the option to drop the knee or keep it lifted. Right hand reaches up towards the sky. Relax the right shoulder down the back. 2 deep breaths here. On the exhale, we're going to reach the right hand back towards the back of your mat and then slide it down, framing the right foot. Right foot is going to come back to a downward facing dog. Deep breaths here. You can walk out the dog. And then we'll send the right foot into the middle of the mat. Inhale, lift that left leg. Exhale to open up your hip, roll out the ankle. You might feel a little stretch in the quad. That feels good. And then on the exhale, left knee comes in towards the chest. Create lots of space in the body here to send that left foot down underneath the rib cage. Right heel dials down at a 45-degree angle. Hips are square to the top of the mat. Inhale, root to rise, warrior one. Relax those shoulders. Deep breaths. Coming back to a place of gratitude, back to that essence. Notice if anything shifts, if there's any limiting beliefs that come up. On the exhale, let them go, sweep them back. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, let it go. Your body knows what it needs to release. Trust that it's releasing just that. Inhale and exhale. This time, right hand windmills up and over. Warrior two, you can take a wider stance on the mat. Relax those shoulders, strong here. Maybe even close your eyes in warrior one. Notice how it feels. Do we feel strong, supported, brave, courageous? And we'll send that left forearm down to the quad. Right hand reaches up towards the sky. Create lots of space in the body. And then send the right hand overhead. Relax the right shoulder down the back. Deep breaths here. When you're ready, that right hand will come down. Left hand is going to swivel up towards the sky. Take a little twist here. Deep breath in. Take a couple breaths. Drop that left shoulder down. And when you're ready, left hand is going to reach back and slide it to frame the left foot. Left foot comes back to downward facing dog. You have the option here again to bring the knees down, shift the hips back into child's pose. We have one more sequence here just to build a little more heat, and then we'll slow everything down, let everything go. Maybe start to notice any thoughts, any subconscious beliefs that come up as the body starts to move and open up. Take a few more breaths wherever you are. Meet me in a downward facing dog in 3 breaths. And when you're ready, we'll start to move. Shifting the weight into the left foot. Right leg reaches up towards the sky. Open up your hip. You have the option to stay right here. If you'd like to take a wild thing with me, right foot drops to the right side of the mat, sinking your hips down here. On your inhale, lengthen the hips. Reach the right arm towards the front of the mat. On the exhale, we're all going to bring that right knee into the chest, flipping back over if you took wild thing. And this time sending the right foot in between the hands, so a little closer to the hands in warrior one. Powering off that back heel, inhale for a high crescent lunge. Relax the shoulders here, squeeze the thighs together. Really power through that back heel, feel lifted here in the lower body, lifted in the upper body. On the exhale, sweep the arms back. On the inhale, left hand's going to come up and over, windmill, warrior two, so left heel dials down. Moving a little more with our breath here, exhale for an extended side angle. So forearm can come down to the quad, or maybe you reach the fingertips towards the ankle. Using your core here, inhale, high five the back of your mat, take a reverse warrior. Notice if that right knee is extended back. Keep that knee over the ankle, reach back here. If you want a little calf lift here, maybe you reach that right heel up. On the exhale, we're going to frame and cartwheel over that right foot. This time we'll all drop that left knee. Sink into the hips and lift your heart here. Low crescent lunge. Fingertips can come to the mat. Open up the chest. On your exhale, we're going to sink the hips back and flex that right foot into a modified split. So this is very deep into the hamstring. Be mindful with yourself. You can always bring pillows or even come to hands to hips here and then start to hinge the heart slightly forward, still getting into that hamstring. One more deep breath. Then we'll come back into a low lunge. If that back foot's not untucked, we'll untuck it here and use that momentum to lift that left foot up to a standing split. Right hand is going to come behind the calf. Maybe you work on a little balance here. You can stay grounded here, or maybe you bring that left hand behind the calf as well. Deep breaths. Find the hands back down to the mat. Left foot comes down to meet the right. Big toes come to touch. And we'll stay here, Uttanasana, forward fold for a moment. Maybe you hold on to opposite elbows. If you need a little more space, you can heel toe the feet out a little wider. And when you're ready, reverse swan dive, root down in the feet, gather that energy. Maybe you bring to mind that dream life reaching up. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Relax the shoulders. Take 5 breaths here. Noticing if you feel a little more energized, if you feel energy in the heart and the fingertips. Notice what you feel without judgment. Awareness is a beautiful thing. Feel your heart beating, your shoulders relaxed. And from here, we'll root down, reach the hands all the way up, gather all that energy, and bring it into your heart space as we swan dive. So sink the hips back, hands come through center line, all the way back down to a forward fold. On your inhale, hands slide up the shins, roll the shoulders back. On the exhale, bend the knees so much that you can plant the hands and step back to plank. You have the option here to stay in high plank or to drop the knees into a modified plank. Deep breath in here. On the exhale, bend the elbows back towards the ribs, chaturanga. We'll find the hips and the heart all the way down to the ground. And we'll inhale into a baby cobra. So just roll the shoulders open, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, downward facing dog, 3 breaths. Shake the head yes, shake the head no. One more side, right foot grounds into the mat, left foot reaches up on the inhale, open up your left hip. An option to flip the dog here into a wild thing. Left foot comes to the left side of the mat. You can keep the hips high here or draw the hips down and then inhale, reach the hips up and over. On your exhale, we'll flip back over. Left knee comes all the way through and plant your left foot in between the hands. Power off that back heel. Root down here, reach up, high crescent lunge, lots of power, lots of grace. Relax your heart center here. Deep breath. Maybe bring to mind something that you want to cultivate more of. What is that essence that you drew in at the beginning of class? What's that energy? Draw it in. And what doesn't serve that? Exhale, let it go. Right heel will dial down. Inhale, warrior 2. Moving a little more quickly here. Exhale for an extended side angle. Reach the right hand overhead. Maybe fingertips draw down. Inhale, reverse warrior. High five the back of the room. Maybe you lift into that left heel. Exhale, cartwheel over your left foot and drop your right knee down. Sink into your hips here. Open up your chest. And then on your exhale, sink the hips back. Flex the left toes towards the face. We'll take a few deep breaths here. And when you're ready, come back into that low lunge. Tuck the back toes. Fingertips press into the mat. Use that momentum. Right foot reaches up, standing splits. You have the option to keep the fingertips here or challenge yourself to bring the left hand behind the calf and help that draw your heart down towards the ground. Once you have this, maybe the right hand reaches behind, finding a drishti on your mat, that point of focus. And we'll bring the hands down. Right foot comes to meet the left. Last vinyasa here. Root down, reach all the way up. Cultivate all of that energy. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Exhale through center line. Draw all the way back down. We'll take a halfway lift here. Inhale. And an exhale to plant the hands. Step, step back to a high plank. Take one big breath here. As slowly as you can go, just dissolve down. Shoulders and hips stay in alignment. Elbows graze those ribs. Maybe we just lower halfway down this time. Root the toes, lift the chest, upward facing dog. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take 3 deep breaths here. Connecting with your body, connecting with your breath. We're going to start to slow it down here. 2 deep breaths in. Long exhales out. And from here, we'll shift the weight into the left foot, right foot lifts one more time, just to bring it through for a half pigeon. You have the option here to come to a figure 4 if you have any discomfort on that knee or that hip. If you like, you can place pillows underneath your hip. Figure 4, if you'd like to take that option, we'll send the right ankle on top of the knee and come down to our backs, hugging the knee into the chest. If you'd like to take half pigeon, open up your chest here. And then on your exhale, start to lower your chest down. Hands can come in Anjali Mudra and maybe drop the head. Or you can stack the hands one on top of the other and let third eye center rest into your hands. We'll take 5 deep breaths here. And I'd like you to just notice the thoughts or even just the sensations that come up once we've built a lot of energy and then we come into stillness. Just observe how your body feels. Notice if the thoughts that move through your head are thoughts that serve you. It's all about awareness. Awareness is really the first step. And it's okay if those thoughts aren't the best thoughts, because now we're aware and we can choose to have other thoughts. We can choose to release any subconscious beliefs that don't serve us and fill it with those that do. So take a couple more breaths here, just exploring without judgment. And when you're ready, we'll root down in the hands, lift up the chest. From here, we'll shift over to that right hip and come long ways on the mat. That left hip is going to draw down. So if you had figure 4 pose, just lift up and meet us here with that right foot tucked into towards the pelvic floor. That left leg is long and externally rotated. Left hand is going to come on top of the right foot. Right hand is going to reach overhead. One more big side body stretch. On your inhale, reach the right hand up and over. Your first option is just to reach the left hand and draw that left hip down. If you'd like a little more here, you can come into the shin, point the left toes down and reach the hips open. Maybe you reach back here. And we'll exhale, bring it back down. Both hands are going to come to the top of the mat here, coming back into a downward facing dog. One more side, we'll send that left leg to lift. Exhale, knee comes all the way through for a half pigeon. Sink the hips, lift your heart. If you'd like to take the figure 4, that's your option. If you'd like to take sleepy pigeon, just allowing everything to go. Once again, observing your body, observing your thoughts. And noticing if the sensations that you feel here meet the sensations that are in your dream life, in everything that you want to manifest and bring into your world. And if it is, if you were able to match your frequency with that energy, I want you to really bask into it. And if you're not there, I want you just to explore that gap. That's okay. We can start to teach our bodies how to experience the energy of what we want to feel. We think that we want the money and the cars and the houses, but what we really want is freedom and to play. And so what is really behind that essence? Take a few moments just to really cultivate that into your body. Imagine as if we had everything we could ever desire: love, partnership. What does that look like? How does it feel? You get to decide. That's the beauty. And when you're ready, we'll lift the heart up, moving quickly today. Get you in and out. Left hip is going to dial down. Right toes are going to lift up and draw that right hip down. So external rotation of this right thigh. We'll send that right hand to the left foot. Left hand reaches overhead, big side body stretch. And when you're ready, lift that left hand up and draw the left hand down. Option 1 is just to reach the right hand overhead. Option 2 is to point the right toes down, shift the hips open, reach that right hand back. And we'll exhale, sink back into the hips, both hands to the top of the mat, rotate back into downward facing dog. And from here, we're just going to come into a seated position. So just cross at the ankles to the top of your mat and come back into that seated position. I'll just turn here so I can face you. And this time, let the hand just rest on top of the knees, roll the shoulders up towards the ears, and exhale them down the back here. Relax the heart. Notice if anything has shifted or has changed in your frequency. Every change that we want to ever make in this world has to start with our mental state. And the way that we shift our mental state starts with our physiology. It starts with our bodies. It starts with moving our bodies and exploring those sensations. So just explore here for a few more breaths how you feel. If we feel a little more open, a little more grace. One more deep breath in. And bring to mind your biggest desires, your biggest dreams, what you want to manifest, what you want to call in. Getting to the very root of that essence, how you want to feel. And as you bring the hands to heart center and tuck your chin here, just take a moment to see if you can bring your energy to that essence. Can we match that energy? Take 5 deep breaths here. All creation is governed by law. The principles that operate in the outer universe, discoverable by scientists, are called natural laws. But there are subtler laws that rule the hidden spiritual planes and the inner realm of consciousness. These principles are knowable through the science of yoga. It is not the physicist, but the self-realized master who comprehends the true nature of matter. By such knowledge, Christ was able to restore the servant's ear after it had been severed by one of its disciples. So if you are a follower of Christ and Jesus, he too understood the power of thoughts and the powers beyond being able to manipulate even matter, manipulate what's in this world. So I thought that was a really beautiful passage. If you'd like, you can come down to your backs into Shavasana for a few moments. Just bring the knees down, let the feet rest. And I'd like you to stay here as long as it takes you to reach the frequency and vibration of your biggest dreams. Letting your hands rest in your hips or down by your sides. And just notice here if there's thoughts that don't serve you, and I want you to stay with those thoughts. Maybe your subconscious will bring you to a certain memory, and in that memory you can change the meaning, change the outcome. You get to decide, and in turn change how you relate to the world, how you move in the world, what you want to get out of the world. Breathe here. I encourage you to stay here as long as you need. This is your practice. This is your time with yourself. It's a beautiful thing to explore. And I will leave you here. Thank you again so much for trusting me to guide you, for being on this journey with me, and for allowing me to share this practice with you all. If you have any questions, leave them below. Again, my name is Alexandra. This is So It Flows, and namaste.